Welcome to PWS United, a podcast for the Prader-Willi syndrome community, brought to you by PWSA USA. This podcast gives the latest news in research, advocacy, and family support by bringing together staff, volunteers, PWS treatment specialists, biotech and pharmaceutical representatives, caregivers, family members, and individuals with PWS. Our goal is to share education, awareness, and resources with those living with PWS and their supporters. Join us in our mission to enhance the quality of life and empower those affected by Prader-Willi syndrome.
How you doing, Carrie?
I'm good, Annie. How are you today?
I'm good. Other than thinking about brown recluses.
Yeah,
Doing all
just
right.
off microphone, we were having a really nice, very unsettling conversation about spiders and spider bites. And I'm feel way more blessed after that conversation that I live in Ohio and not California.
Okay, well maybe don't Google where brown recluse spiders live then. I
Is
don't know.
there
I
brown
don't
recluse
Google
spiders
it.
in
I'm not
Ohio?
saying they live in Ohio, but don't Google it. But they do live in
Maybe I
California,
am
and
not grateful. Okay.
I found one in my washing machine.
Oh, the joys. I'm
But
glad we
anyway,
are all okay. And
yeah.
yeah, that's a scary moment. Brown recluses are no joke and they can do some damage. So,
Yep. Yeah, a
oh, wait,
couple.
Brown recluse, Ohio just popped up as one of the search.
Oh, no. So when you get
Okay,
a
they can be
PWS diagnosis, they tell you not to Google it.
Google.
So I would say the same for brown recluses.
I like that. Okay, I like that thought. I put my phone away because yeah, it's better to live in ignorance in that scenario with spiders involved. So
Yeah,
we'll just go with that.
it's
Yeah,
quick.
Annie's husband got bit by one, we think, as a side note. That's why we've
Yes.
been talking about it. So that's so scary. I'm so glad he's okay. And I quickly saw that they're not native to Ohio. So
Oh,
I,
good.
I
Okay.
feel better.
There you go. Yay.
And that
You're
was my little
safe.
science lesson for the day.
Perfect. All right. Well, on that note, should we get into the pulse?
Yes, let's do it.
It says volume 118. This came out on March 21st, 2025. And we started it by talking about awareness opportunities. There was a lot to cover in March, so we thought we'd put it all together in this pulse. So March offers us a lot to celebrate and curate awareness around. Awareness months, weeks, and days are great opportunities to learn more about an issue we are interested in or to spread information and personal stories about issues that affect us. Many awareness campaigns have fresh themes each year, providing a path to follow and curate stories around. PWSA seeks to promote and encourage our community through these awareness events, bringing information to our community and learning more about ourselves along the way. We hope that you continue to find inspiration and encouragement from these opportunities. So for March, it is National Nutrition Month, and this year's theme is Food is Our Connection. And when we first learn about PWS, many of us concentrate on hyperphagia. Parents and caregivers often share concerns about the struggles with nutrition, food security, and the affected behaviors. And if there's any community where the theme Food is Our Connection truly resonates, it is the PWS community. This Awareness Month encourages us to continue to educate ourselves about healthy nutrition and how food is connected to our lives. And we'll share a few blogs in the show notes. And the first one is called Nutrition in the PWS Family. And this was written by dietitian Michael Tan, who works with Dr. Jennifer Miller, pediatric endocrinologist in Florida. And this is a great read for anybody just to get a really clear view of nutrition in the PWS family. And he wrote this last year. We shared this last year. And then we also have one called Nutrition Discourse in the PWS community. And this is a friendly guide on how to have healthy and respectful conversations on nutrition. We know that it is such an important, crucial topic for our community, and that sometimes it can be a little challenging to have those conversations on social media. That is the nature of social media, it seems sometimes. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So we wanted to write something just to kind of give a little perspective on how to have these conversations. And a reminder that every family is different, and what works
Yes.
for one family may not work for the other. Just a message that we want to reiterate for all aspects of PWS and just life in general.
So important. Yeah.
March is also National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. As with any awareness celebration, it is not about a limited moment in time, but a way to draw attention to issues, people, and groups that are in our society every day. This year's Developmental Disability Awareness Month theme is We're Here All Year. As parents and caregivers of individuals with PWS, we know that developmental disabilities do not go away when the awareness focus shifts. So we will link to the National Association of Councils on Developmental Disabilities so that you can learn more about this awareness month. Many of you know it is also Women's History Month, and the theme is Moving Forward Together, Women Educating and Inspiring Generations. There have been and continue to be many incredible women educating and inspiring the PWS community and beyond. And so couldn't possibly share them all in a list, but we put some together into a blog called Women in PWS Moving Forward Together. And this was a really interesting blog to put together. I kind of just went through the pioneers in PWS blogs, and well, first I got a list of names, and some of the names kept coming up. People were like, "You got to make sure this
So
name's on
and
there." And
so, yeah.
yeah, and just to be clear again, like this is not a comprehensive list by any means. We know
Right.
there are so many women. There are so many women today that are really making history. We just want to honor that. But I was just trying to follow some guidelines of just like some pioneers, some
Hmm.
classic names, some women who helped us get to where we are today. So
Right.
it's a really it was inspiring, and I think a great read, and just a nice glimpse into the history of the PWS community.
And the powerful women that helped us get here. Yeah.
Yes,
We love that.
absolutely. And the last one is Neurodiversity Celebration Week, which was last week. And neurodiversity is a term coined by Australian sociologist Judy Singer in the mid 1990s. It is a social justice movement that seeks to bring awareness, equality, and inclusion to people of various neurological abilities, including those with PWS. With neurodiversity, there is no one right way of thinking, learning, and behaving, and differences are not viewed as deficits. And there will be a couple articles linked in the show notes. We'll link to an article out of Harvard on what is diversity. And then there's also a blog post from last year, Neurodiversity and Prader-Willi Syndrome. And that's a great article just talking about kind of how our loved ones are affected. And it also has some beautiful contributions from Patrice Carroll out of Latham Centers. In honor of Women's History Month, our PWSA memory focused on Dr. Vanja Holm, and she, along with Jean and Fausta Dieterling, who were parents of a son with PWS, helped establish Prader-Willi Syndrome Parents and Friends, which was later renamed Prader-Willi Syndrome Association, PWSA USA. She worked at the Child Development and Retardation Center in Seattle, Washington, and we just wanted to honor her incredible work this week in our memory. And here's a quote from Dr. Suzanne Cassidy, another incredible woman in PWS history who is mentioned in that blog. But this is what she had to say about Dr. Holm. As a pediatrician who specialized in developmental disorders, conditions that included slower development and intellectual disability, at the University of Washington's Specialized Center for Developmental Disability, Dr. Holm established and directed one of the very first clinical programs dedicated to children, and later also adults, with Prader-Willi syndrome. This was a multidisciplinary clinic that included many specialists relevant to people with PWS, and it served as a model for similar clinics and other medical centers and universities. She also organized one of the first medical conferences dedicated to PWS, which included multiple speakers from many institutions, each of whom contributed a chapter about a particular aspect of PWS that Dr. Holm collected into the first book about PWS, published in 1981. And you can read more about Dr. Holm and her contributions to the PWS community at the link in our show notes. And you can also find a link to share your PWS community memory there. And we would love to hear that.
I love this section, Annie, as it's, again, we've mentioned many times, our 50th anniversary, but it really has allowed us to go back in time and really understand the makings of this amazing organization and all of the incredible ways that the Prader-Willi syndrome community has received support over the years and who some of the major players have been. So, I don't know. Personally, I just have found it to be fascinating and really
Mhm.
eye-opening. I've learned a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It's been really, it's been very informative and inspiring, like you said. I'm
Mhm.
enjoying it. Moving on to our spotlight on hope. This was a volunteer spotlight sent in by Pia Dorson. And this is about her son, Ronan Dar, who turned 11 years old on January 1st, 2025. In lieu of gifts from his friends for his party, he asked them all to donate to a page he created for his sister Zara, 7, living with PWS. His goal was $200, but after posting it to Facebook, he raised over $1,000. And Pia said, as parents, we are constantly concerned about our PWS child, but also how the disease affects the other siblings. Some of the side effects are positive, though, like empathy. Rona knows that our expectations are for him to be thankful and kind and to give back to the community. I'm overjoyed that he's doing it. And
Oh, I
again,
love that.
yeah, it's really sweet. A really sweet picture of Zara and then Ronan and Zara and their other little one. Very sweet. So you can find the link in our show notes to share your spotlight on hope. And please send those in, whether it's, they took their first step to they graduated college, all everything in between and above and beyond. We want to just hear about your loved one.
And we're getting really close to PWS Awareness Month in May, and it's such a good time to get these submissions in so that we can spotlight as many people as possible
Yes,
throughout the
please.
month. We'd love to do that. All right, moving on now to our events and fundraisers section. As always, we're starting with conference. It is only a couple months away now, which is crazy. But we are so excited to finally start seeing some things really come together and we officially have unveiled a high level family program schedule that is now available for download from our community. And we will have the link for that in our show notes. And it really just gives what sessions are going to be happening on that Friday and Saturday during the conference, again, June 27th and 28th, 2025. So we encourage you to go and see what some of those are. We are still waiting to have a completely finalized list of our speakers to go along with these sessions. So we're excited to unveil that in the next month and a half or so, but definitely make sure to do that before the conference in June. We'll also have high level schedules available in the near future for the clinical and scientific program, the professional providers program, and the adults with PWS program. So we're looking forward to sharing a lot more details in the coming weeks and months. I also want to remind everyone out there, if you have not booked your conference registration yet, that March 31st, it's coming up quick here, Monday, is the last day for our early bird pricing. So if you have not registered, it's a great time to do so and save a little money. And then one final reminder for this section that we are still collecting photos for our PWS community mural. That will be the main photo op spot at the conference. And even if you're not attending, we encourage you to submit one photo or many photos of your loved one. We'll take as many as you like to send in. But we'll have links to register. We'll have a link again for the high level family program schedule and then for this photo submission as well in our show notes. All right, moving on now to the 2025 Clint Hurdle Hot Stove Dinner. It actually took place this past Saturday, March 22nd in Bradenton, Florida. And hosts Clint and Carla Hurdle, this was their 11th annual hot stove dinner, which is amazing that they've passed that decade time and they're
Hmm.
continuing to host this incredible event in Florida for all of our families and loved ones in their community. And we actually had some PWSA USA staff who were in attendance as well. And we're waiting for them to actually still come back to Florida from Florida.
They may
They all
not. I
decided
don't
to,
know.
they might not. They decided to take a little extra vacation, which we love. But once they come back, we'll have some photos to share. We'll have some great quotes and just a little recap from the event. So be on the lookout for that in the near future as well. But a big thank you while we're here to Clint and Carla for all of their amazing work and for supporting our family programs and services. We are just so amazed by their efforts and again, just continuing to host this for the 11th year. That's incredible. So thank you, Hurdles. Another event that's coming up yet is Zara's Night of Light. We've mentioned it a couple times on the show here, but a reminder that that's taking place on Saturday, April 5th at 6 p.m. Central at the Historical Hall in Bedford, New York. So please join for the inaugural Zara's Night of Light. This community event brings us together to support children like Zara who are living with Prader-Willi syndrome. Enjoy an evening filled with entertainment, food and drinks, a silent auction, and more. You can visit the event page in our show notes to see ticket price options, which include a variety of sponsorship opportunities as well. And every dollar raised will go directly to PWSA USA to fund our advocacy, family support, and vital research to find a treatment for PWS. Another great event coming up is a live symposium on hyperphagia, and this is specifically for medical professionals in the PWS community. It's taking place on April 26th at 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. And this educational activity is intended, again, for an audience of pediatricians, endocrinologists, psychiatrists, geneticists, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, nurses, and other clinicians who care for patients with PWS in the United States. Expert faculty will explore the huge burden that hyperphagia represents for patients with PWS, their families, and their caregivers. They will delve into the pathophysiology and complications of hyperphagia and look to the future in a discussion around the current and emerging treatment options for hyperphagia in PWS. By incorporating patient case examples and the latest data, the faculty will exchange ideas around best practices to ensure improved quality of life for patients with PWS and those around them. And something exciting about this opportunity is that CMEs are available, and you can find more details and how to register at the link in our show notes. And then the last piece of this section is our United We Brunch campaign. So at PWSA USA, we believe that raising awareness for Prader-Willi syndrome starts in our own circles with family, friends, neighbors, and our colleagues. As PWS Awareness Month approaches this May, we are so excited to introduce the United We Brunch initiative, a nationwide effort designed to bring people together to connect, share experiences, and gain the resources and support our community needs. United We Brunch is all about raising awareness, fostering hope, and gathering resources, one brunch, one state, and one family at a time, uniting communities and creating a ripple effect across the U.S. Anyone can host a United We Brunch event. It is easy and can be as casual or as fancy as you'd like. From having friends over for muffins and coffee to catering a high tea and arranging flowers, your time and imagination are the only limits. So we've made this pretty easy to get involved in this new initiative, and we hope many people participate. You can download our United We Brunch toolkit. We'll have that in the show notes. And you can also register to create your own United We Brunch webpage at the link in the show notes as well. When you're there and set up your page, we ask that you include the name of your event and then the state and date it will be taking place. So we, again, encourage you to start planning if you're interested. And if you have any questions or need any help or support, please reach out to our amazing development team and fundraising coaches. They are there for you through this, and we'll have their email in the show notes as well. And Annie, I think you're going to be hosting one, right?
I am. I'm going to be hosting one up here in Humboldt County in California, which is far away from anybody else, but that's okay. My community is going to come out, hopefully. It's a busy weekend, but May 24th, I'm doing mine, and it's going to be an open mic and story share. And I'm inviting individuals and caregivers from the disability community to speak on the mic, whether that's poetry or song. I know both. People will share stories. And I'm hoping also to get some people from like the university's special education department or from the
Love it.
regional center to come and kind of, witness the lived experience of people with disabilities. And I plan on having part of that event on Zoom. So if you're interested in watching some performances, I will be doing some poetry. I'm going to try and get Freya to do a poem.
But we love that. I think that's so perfect. It screams you.
Yeah. I know my friend suggested a yoga, I think maybe I already said that. My friend suggested that we could do like a yoga thing at our house. And I was like, that's
Mm.
really sweet that you offered that. But I don't do yoga.
We're
It
doing
gives,
poetry.
yeah, yoga gives me anxiety.
Oh, no. Yeah, you wouldn't want that for an event you host to just be added anxiety with an activity you don't enjoy.
As soon as you tell me to focus on my breath, I start panicking because then I feel like I have to control it. If I do it wrong,
Yeah,
I'll
you're like, "Oh my
suffocate.
gosh,
I
how
don't
am
know.
I even breathing?" Yeah, my mind starts to, like, spiral into, "How do we even breathe?" Yeah, okay. Getting a really far off into some topic here, but the moral of all this is that these events can be however you want them to be. It is for your community that's close to you, so you don't have to feel pressure to have a ton of PWS families there or have it any way you don't want it to be.
Yeah.
Again, that's the moral of all this, so
Yeah, like
we
Melanie said, I
just
could just invite some friends over and
Mhm.
hang out in the backyard and talk about PWS, to which I said, "I've done that several times." So, I'm gonna
We're
give
gonna
my
make it a
I'm
little
gonna give my friends
bigger
a
scale.
break. I'll do it for the community. But that's why yeah, anyway, I'll talk more about mine as I get the details going.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll mention others as well as other people are putting theirs together and get some details out there in the world if any live close to you and you wanna attend, you know?
Yeah, I know Cat Lucero's doing one in Colorado.
Mhm. Yep, Colorado Springs area. Magnolias and
Magnolias
mimosas.
Magnolias and mimosas, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's several. There's definitely at least 4, I think there's more than 4, and eventually the goal is to have one in every state. This is just the first year of this initiative, and we wanna see it continue to grow year after year going forward. So, if we can get I think Melanie's goal, she said she'd love to have 12 this
Okay.
year throughout the country. I think that's
Alright.
doable.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, if
yeah,
anybody out there has been thinking about it, I think this is a great one to start with because it really
yeah,
is most of the work is done.
yeah. And we're
That
not limited to 12. That's
Oh,
a
yeah, yeah.
number we'd love to see and be as many as we want. And if there's already one happening in a state you live in and you still wanna host one, feel free. You know,
Yeah. Go
as
across
many
state lines and rent a house. No, I'm kidding. Sorry. It's dumb.
to have it wherever you want. But again, as we get more information out there about this and as more people are setting up their own United We Brunch events and pages, we will give more details. But for now, check out the links in the show notes.
Yes. So we don't usually mention the previous podcast episode because we figure if you're listening to this via podcast, then you are aware of what's come out. But just to make sure, because this one feels like a really important one. The one that came out last week was special education and the Department of Ed, and that was with a woman, Jamila Bashir, who is a consultant IEP coach, author, speaker, online social media person,
All
and
the
she
things.
all the things, and she's very knowledgeable about the Department of Education and the services that most of our loved ones receive through education. So if you're interested in learning more about that, her and Stacy had a really informative conversation. So definitely check that out. And we're going to move on to advocacy. Our first article is a call for voices needed from the Florida PWS community. So help ensure early genetic screening for Prader-Willi syndrome by urging your Florida state legislators to support the Sunshine Genetics Act, which is HB 907 or SB 1356. This bill would establish newborn genetic testing, leading to earlier diagnoses, better care, and reduced health care costs for families affected by rare diseases. Early detection equals life-changing interventions. Delayed diagnoses leads to severe health and financial burdens. And Florida can be a leader in genetics and precision medicine. So if you live in Florida, please take action now. And you will find a link in our show notes to learn more about this issue and to send a letter to your state representatives and senators. So this is from Soleno Therapeutics. As we look ahead to May and PWS Awareness Month, we are reminded of the incredible opportunity we had last year to showcase the faces and stories of individuals living with PWS. Your participation last year made such a powerful impact, bringing greater awareness and understanding to this community. This year, we are excited to continue this journey together, celebrating the strength, love, and resilience that define the PWS community. In particular, we want to pull back the curtain on an often invisible but deeply important perspective, the role of family members, including siblings, cousins, and special loved ones. So Soleno is looking for you to share your stories about being a sibling or a cousin, another family member of somebody with PWS. They want to share those stories and include a photo with that for PWS Awareness Month. So what they are looking for is for you to send in, and we'll have the email in the show notes, but the email is stories@soleno.life. They're asking you to send a photo of family members together that are navigating PWS in the family. And then responses to these two questions. 1, what is one challenge you've experienced as a family member of someone with PWS? And 2, what is one hope you have had for your loved one's future? Please include your first name, your last initial, and the state that you live in. They also need photo release forms, and so you will find a link to those in the show notes. There's a separate one for minor siblings or family members, and you can add multiple names to that form. There's a separate one for adult siblings or family members, if there are any. And if there are two siblings where one is a minor and one is an adult, please have the parent or caregiver fill out the first form with one minor's name, and the adult sibling fill out the second form in their own name. Your stories help educate, inspire, and connect our community and the public in meaningful ways. In the coming weeks, you will also be hearing from us more regularly. If you have not already done so, we invite you to sign up for updates, and that link will be in the show notes. Soleno thanks you for considering this opportunity and just want you all to know that they are grateful for each of you.
Now on to some family support news. We're going to backtrack a little bit back to conference talk because our first blog and our kind of blog of the week is all about how to beat the heat in Arizona and stay cool at conference. It's a very important topic because we just know that our loved ones need to make sure that they're prepared. So,
Because we're all going to be
as
hot.
we're all going to be hot. It's going to be hot. Just as, I think a lot of people know that, but just another heads up, and we have some additional information of ways we're trying to help people stay cool. As we count down the days to the conference in Phoenix, our excitement at gathering with so many families from the PWS community grows. We'll be spending time with old friends, making new ones, and collectively sharing information, guidance, support, great conversations, maybe some tears, and certainly some laughs. And another thing we'll all be sharing, as Annie mentioned, is the heat. So Phoenix in June will be hot, as we mentioned. And as we know about our loved ones with PWS, temperature regulation and staying cool in the heat is a challenge. But don't worry, we've got you covered. You can check out this week's blog at the link in our show notes to learn all about the measures we're taking at conference to help you and your loved ones stay cool. And you can also find tips from Arizona families on how to keep your loved ones safe in the Arizona heat. And then we also, within this blog, have another blog we've shared in the past just about staying cool in general and some helpful tips from our family support team. So we encourage you all to read that. And again, even if you're not going to the conference in the summer, summer's coming up, and it's just a nice reminder, that we need to keep our loved ones cool. So,
Well, and in this blog, we got some insight from Arizona families, which does feel important because they have some
yes.
particular insights about being in that particular heat in the
Yep.
desert.
Because they live there with their loved ones year round. So, yeah, they have great insight, and we're really grateful to them for sharing some of the ways that it's helped them as they navigate the Phoenix summers every year.
And it's nice to know that people can do that.
Yes, absolutely. Our Ask Nurse Lynn of the week was submitted on behalf of a male who's 7 months old with an unknown subtype. And the question submitted is: he has a cough, congestion, and I have the humidifier with Vicks vaporizer going and have been using the No Sucker by Frida to help clear his airways. But I'm so worried at night, especially knowing now he has sleep apnea. He's having a hard time breathing. I really can't sleep worried about him. Do you have any advice? And of course, Lynn did. She always has great advice. So you can find her advice on respiratory infections at the link in our show notes. And while you're there, you can also submit your own Ask Nurse Lynn non emergency medical question that we can help you get answered soon.
In research, we have a call for a new research study designed to treat obesity in specialized populations with tirzepatide. This is a multi-site, open-label, non-randomized pilot study to investigate the efficacy of tirzepatide to promote reduction of body BMI in obese young adults with PWS, HO, or GNSO. And to be honest, I don't know what those last two are, but I know what PWS is. So this is a call for our community. The primary aim will be to evaluate the percent change in weight and BMI from baseline during 48 weeks of treatment with tirzepatide. This will be a 48-week trial using tirzepatide that includes 6 in-person study visits, 4 telehealth visits, and an additional visit 8 weeks after stopping medication. And I'll say up here, this is out of the Seattle Children's Hospital. But I know that they have a few other sites that will be coming up, and I don't know if I can say those sites yet because they're not happening yet. But for now, this one is at the Seattle Children's Hospital. And this study might be a good fit for you if you are age 18 to 26 and have Prader-Willi syndrome. If you or your child decide to take part in the research study, you or your child would participate for approximately 56 to 60 weeks. You would receive tirzepatide for once weekly dosing, complete 6 in-person SCH study visits, Seattle Children's Hospital, and complete 4 telehealth visits. And you have to complete the following research procedures: medical record review, vital signs, anthropometry, which is like height, weight, and waist measurements, physical exams, laboratory tests like fasting blood draws and urine tests, a dual energy absorptiometry scan, and some questionnaires. And obviously, I'm not sure that I pronounced some of those right, but I'm sure you can understand. So according to Seattle Children's Hospital, we cannot promise any benefits to you or others from your taking part in this research. However, possible benefits include a decrease in your appetite and your weight, which can improve your overall health. Participants who take part get $50 gift cards for each in-person and telehealth visit to thank you for your time. So to take part in this research study or for more information, contact the EndocrineResearch team. And I will put that email and phone number in the show notes. That is EndocrineResearch@seattlechildrens.org. You will find the number in the show notes. We also recently had a webinar from Harmony Biosciences about their Tempo Phase 3 trial. This free webinar was to help the PWS community learn more about the Tempo Phase 3 clinical trial of pitolisant, or pitolisant, a potential treatment for excessive daytime sleepiness and behavioral disturbances in PWS. If you watch the recording of this webinar, you can also learn where the trial sites are located. All sites are now open and actively enrolling participants. And webinar participants had the option to ask questions directly to the Harmony Biosciences team. With the help of our community, this groundbreaking treatment could move one step closer to FDA approval, bringing hope and new options to those who need it most. And you can watch a recording of this webinar using the link in our show notes.
And then to end here, we have a resource spotlight to share. It's our Early Intervention Therapy Know Your Rights resource. So, early intervention is a systematic program of therapy, exercises, and activities designed to address developmental delays that may be experienced by children with Prader-Willi syndrome or other disabilities. These services are mandated by a federal law called the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. The law requires that states provide early intervention services for all children who qualify, with the goal of enhancing the development of infants and toddlers and helping families understand and meet the needs of their children. You can download our What is Early Intervention Guide to learn more about the legal requirements of early intervention, who pays for it, and how to sign your loved one up to receive the services at the link in our show notes. Very important right now, too, especially Annie.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm not going to say any more than that.
Do you, Annie, to close us out here, have a mission moment that you'd like to share, or just any takeaways that you've had from a PWSA perspective?
Yeah, well, I will say that right before we recorded this, I got to record an episode for next week, our next week's podcast, and where I spoke with three other parents, Christy Rickenbach, Lisa Lamb, and Denise Service. And we talked about our siblings and how we can better meet the needs of our siblings, some of the challenges, and just kind of commiserated of the experience of having multiple children, one of whom has PWS. So it was a really great conversation. I definitely learned some things from it, and I think it's going to be a really valuable conversation. So I'm excited to get that out into the world.
That is going to be a good one.
And there's going to be more.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would love an episode eventually that has siblings come on
Mhm.
and talk.
So this was like the parents'
Yeah,
perspective. And then
exactly.
we're going to have more conversations that are the siblings and letting them tell us what it's like instead of us conjecturing what it's like for them. So yeah, it was a really good conversation, and I think it'll be really helpful for a lot of families.
It will. And it's perfectly timed because April 10th is National Siblings Day. So
Yeah. Yep.
put that in your brain, people, as
Yeah.
well, and
Was
on the
it
calendar.
planned? Sure. We'll see.
As is
Sure.
everything we do. Yes. No, we do our best, but that might have been a little happier coincidence, but
Yeah.
it it it's perfectly timed. So
Yes.
it leads us right in. I'm excited to do, some sibling stuff. Obviously, as we read earlier, Soleno Therapeutics is collecting a lot of sibling stories and photos. So the sibling perspective is so important. And I'm very excited and interested to hear from your parent perspective how you all navigate, those relationships in
Mhm.
addition to your loved one with PWS. So
Yeah. Okay. I got more.
Annie and I need to cut this so that Annie can deal with her ant problem among the spider problems she's having and just a whole bug situation over there. So,
I'm telling you, living in Northern California is not for the faint of heart.
oh my gosh. Yeah, you go take care of that, Annie, and we're going to be back next week with that great sibling episode, and we can't wait. Thank you for listening to this episode of PWS United. If you want to learn more about Prader-Willi syndrome and how PWSA USA is making strides in advocacy, family support, and research, visit www.pwsausa.org. And while you're there, we encourage you to sign up for our Pulse email newsletter to stay informed about the latest news, resources, and events. Don't forget to subscribe to the PWS United podcast so you never miss an episode. Our team is always available to support families and their loved ones living with PWS 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You can call us at 941-312-0400 or email info@pwsausa.org. Catch a new episode next Tuesday, and until then, have a great week.